What was the one with the last one with the frogs and what was that one?
Frogs? That is, it's called, well, this episode was called, the biblical one. This episode was, I think it was called The Story of Moses, and it was from a mini-series in the 70s, late 70s, I believe, that had like 900 television actors in it. I guess everybody was anyone, and a lot of people who were nobody appeared in that. It's kind of like the small screen version of Cecil B. DeMille's Ten Commandments. You know, anyone who was ever in any TV show is turning water into wine or making snakes turn into staffs. It's not entirely. That's definitely the best scene in the movie, I think. Yes?
I'd like to know who was your favorite leading man and why?
He wanted to know who was Julie's favorite leading man, and I would have to say it's me, because she's told me that on many occasions. You'll have to ask Julie, and you know what she's going to say, because Julie is one of the most diplomatic people in the world. She will not say anything bad about anyone, except for her son. She'll occasionally say some things about him, but she will say, I will predict the answer, they were all wonderful in their own way. But you ask that question, and we'll see if that's the answer. Anybody?
Did Julie ever do any daytime or nighttime soap work, or did she want to do it?
I don't know if she wanted to or not, but she did it. She was in a soap opera, an evening soap opera called Capital, which took place in the world of politics. And I think it lasted a year or two. And then she was, I don't know if she was in One Life to Live, or she was in a couple of soap operas for quite a while, but you know, they're not available. Who knows if the tapes exist anymore. It's hard work doing a soap, because you have to learn the lines over and over and over. But we've already answered all the questions, Julie, so there's no need for you to come up here.
Well, that's good. That's good.
The hard part is over.
Exactly. Now I told everyone to only ask questions that you've never been asked before, to force you to think or make things up on the spot. So we had one question here from a gentleman. I'm assuming he's a gentleman. He's a man, and he said, "Who's your favorite leading man and why?"
Oh my goodness, that's a frightful question to have to answer, because I had so many lovely leading men, and they were all wonderful for different reasons.
Thank you. I told them that would be your answer because you're so diplomatic. It was Tyrone Power. She hated everybody else.
Well, Tyrone Power was divine, and well, he was just a wonderful actor and a very, very charming man. And James Stewart was somebody that I loved working with, and I learned so much from him too. He was a very highly accomplished film actor, and I remember once doing a scene with him, and he was doing his close-up, and I was acting with him off camera, and I remember watching him, and I thought, how does he do that? He's not doing anything, and yet everything is there. And I thought, I want that.
So you like him more than Glenn Ford, is that what you're saying?
It's not a question of liking. It's a question that's where I learned something so much. And I enjoyed working with Glenn Ford too very much. Very charming man and so on. But James Stewart was the place where I learned more about film acting. Let me put it that way.
She's kind of the female James Stewart. She has that quiet demeanor there, and there's yeah.
Well, you see that I learned some lessons.
There you go.
Did Richard Long succeed in killing you in that episode?
What? I'm sorry.
They wanted to know if Richard Long succeeded in killing you in that 77 Sunset Strip episode. You're gonna have to wait till it comes out on DVD. and I know the music rights issues with that series. It's going to take a long time before that series comes out. She survives, and it's a really terrific, really well written show. And They did drama really well back then.
Yes, they did. No, I did survive, didn't I?
You did,
Yes, I did.
just barely.
I did survive. It was all right.
But her hair got
And
messed
here
up
I
a
am
little.
today. Right.
Have you ever been in a musical?
Oh, no, I haven't. And don't think I wouldn't love to if I could sing.
Julie did do a 2-woman show. You know, not you
That's
took
true.
it on the
With
road.
Ellen Gear. Yes, Ellen Gear is a wonderful actress, and maybe you've seen her out at her in Topanga Canyon at her theater, and she's wonderful. And she also is a very, very good singer, and so on. And so we worked on a show together, so that we thought we could do things, and we did. I think we performed it somewhere. I believe it was a mixture of dialogue, and then we had some musical things in it. And I just loved it because I loved working with Ellen anyway. So that was great fun. But I don't think musicals are basically my strong suit. No.
Okay.
You were very effective in that clip. I'm assuming playing a villain, that mother, that older mother, the later clip. And I was wondering, did you like? Is there a certain type of character you like playing more than others? I mean, the kind of the edgy, the one with a little bit of an edge. I thought those clips really stood out. The Marcus Welby, the one.
Yes, I always enjoyed characters that were not just straight characters in the sense of predictability and so on. And so I like that very much. So when I got an opportunity to play a part like that you were speaking of, I loved it. And I did some work on the stage, and I got to do Eugene O'Neill, where when I was 15 and a half, I went to the Blytheville, Arkansas Public Library, and I checked out all of Eugene O'Neill's books. They were all they were green covers. And I read all of his plays, and the librarian said to me, when I checked them out, she said, "Do your parents know what you're reading?" And I said, "Oh, sure." In truth, they knew I was a reader, so they didn't really pay much attention to what I was reading. So Eugene O'Neill was a big part of what I loved to do, and I did get to do A Long Day's Journey into Night, which was for me a great experience because Eugene O'Neill was like an idol to me.
Where did you do it?
Where did I do it? I did it in Los Angeles in a small theater.
I think it was the Vista Theater. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure of the
Sky-
theater,
Skylight?
but the Dramalog
I think it
Award
was a
was for
Skylight.
Best
Skylight
Actress
Theater.
in Los Angeles.
Yes, and
so
I
that's
won-
what. Yes,
I
you
won
did.
that.
win.
Yeah, I won that award.
Yeah,
By gum.
yeah. And you still know your acceptance speech to this day.
I don't.
You don't? Oh, okay. Question in the back there?
Yes, today so many stars have problems dealing with press and going wild. How did the studios train people back then to deal with press and going out in public?
Did you hear? The question was, today stars have so much trouble dealing with the press being out in public, you know, paparazzi and rumors, National Enquirer. How did Julie do, and how did the studios treat her? You know, what was it like being a star in Hollywood? How did you deal with all the, you know, attention, adulation, rumors, etc.? Because there were a lot of rumors about you, as everyone knows.
Oh, really? Well, you'll have to tell me.
You
about
were a
it
goody.
sometime.
You were a goody two
You
shoes.
can
That
tell
was
me
the rumor.
sometime. Well, I think that basically you have to just live your life and not get too rattled if there are other things going on. And I don't think they wrote a lot about me or anything. It wasn't like it was all public, but you know, there were certain things. But I just didn't take that in as part of what I was about. They were wrong, and because I love my work, and I love my family, and I live my life. And that was really the bottom line. So that there was really no particular scandal, really. They could rustle up some little nonsense. But
Nothing particular.
else.
There's some general scandals there. The thing you should know about Julie is when she was young, she's going to really take care of me later. When she was a teenager, she had a scholarship to go to to be a stage actress in New York. And the reason Julie went out to Hollywood was she didn't want to wait a year. So that's why she came out to become an actress. She didn't come out here to be a movie star. She wanted to be an actress, and her first choice was to be a stage actress. But because she didn't want to wait another year, she came out here to Hollywood. But she didn't come out to be a movie star. She wanted to act. And I think that's one of the reasons why she's so grounded, because, you know, it's very different thinking you're up there as opposed to you're a professional trying to do a job, and that's what Julie's always trying to do.
Well, also, I didn't really have that much money to go to New York and do all of that sort of thing, and I had kind of an aunt. I called her Aunt Ruth. She was really my father's first wife, and she had always loved him. And so when she heard I was interested in acting, she lived in Long Beach, and she had bathing suit shops on the Strand there. And she was back in Arkansas once. This was before I came to California. And she said, I understand you're interested in acting, and so if you want to come to California, I'll help you. And so that she had things. And so I said, oh, that's great. So when I did decide to come to California, I got in touch with her, and I shared a tiny apartment in Hollywood with a young woman who had worked for her, who still worked for her, Valerie Sorrell. And Valerie was kind of an actress too, and so we shared this little apartment right in Hollywood, and it was, and I got it because of her, because she had people that young actresses, my Aunt Ruth did, that were, had contacts with talent scouts, so I got an interview or two with a talent scout. And they said, well, the first thing you've got to do is lose your Southern accent. I said, what accent? You know, and they said, you should go to a coach. I said, what coach? And they said, Florence Enright. They gave me the name of Florence Enright. And she was a woman who worked with people from, what studio they were.
She did almost every studio
Yeah,
through
she
the
was,
years.
and she
Universal,
worked with the
MGM.
people who were under contract to, oh my God, it's all out of my mind. Anyway, she worked with a great many active people in film. And so I I went out to meet her, and I talked with her, and I told her, you know, that this was my ambition and I wanted to do this very much, and would I be able to work with her? And she said, she said, first of all, you'd have to lose your Southern accent. I said, what accent? You know, so, and so.
Did you know that Colleen also studied with Florence?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, wasn't she wonderful?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes.
also.
And she also studied with Stanoff. You two had the
With
same.
Stanoff.
She had
Yeah.
you had the
Oh,
same
we
teachers.
followed the same kind of path, really.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Both absolutely wonderful. Yes.
And
oh,
and
yeah.
you guys act completely different.
Yes, because
You
we're
different
different
styles,
people.
that's
We're
right.
different people. That's
Or
all.
one of you wasn't listening to the teacher, possibly. I don't know.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
We are individuals.
I'm going to get a
We
talking to
actresses.
later.
are-
Yes, a question in the aisle.
I'm not going to ask you how it was kissing Elvis. I'm going to ask you whether you had any interaction with the Colonel.
I personally never met the Colonel. No, I didn't. But I enjoyed working with Elvis very much. I recognized him right away because I'm from the South. And Elvis was a young Southern gentleman. And this was a movie, was called Tickle Me, if you'll pardon the expression. and he was the star of the picture, of course. And I played a woman who owned a dude ranch. And he had a job at the dude ranch. And there were a lot of pretty young things who worked on the ranch. And so these were the other characters in the movie. And on the first day of shooting, Elvis sent all of us, me and all of the pretty young things on the ranch, sent us flowers on the first day of the movie. And I thought that was very, very touching and very sweet. And so it set a very good atmosphere. And I really enjoyed working with him. And he was a young Southern gentleman, and I'm from the South, and I recognize a young Southern gentleman when I see them.